Okay, hey guys, today we're going to do the topic of circles, and in this video we're going to cover questions related to circles. If you did not watch the video on the theory related to the topic of circles, I highly recommend you watch that video before you watch this one, because a lot of the concepts discussed in that video going to be in this video, and this video just simply covers the questions related to the topic of circles. Okay, so let's get right into it. So first question, a circle has center 2, 1 and passes through 10, the point coordinate 10, 7. Find the equation of the circle. Okay, so firstly, we know the general equation. Well, we know the equation is in the form x minus a all squared plus y minus b all squared is equal to r squared, where A and B is the center, okay, and R is the radius. So they give us the center. So we basically have this part of the equation here completed already. What we need to find is the radius. Now, they give us the circle here, okay? It has a coordinate somewhere here, okay? This is the center, 2, 1, and we know it passes through the point, let's say somewhere here, 10, 7, okay? How do we find the radius? If we look at this line here from the center to that coordinate, the distance from the center of a circle to any point on the circumference is what? It's the radius. So all we need to do is find the distance from the center to that point on the circumference, and that will give us the radius. And if you remember, we actually learned an equation to find the length of a line. This is equation essentially what we're doing. We're going to find the length of the line, and the length of that line would be the radius. Okay, so if you recall the equation for the length is equal to y2 minus y1 squared plus x2 minus x1 all squared. This is equal to the square root. Y2 is 7 minus y1, which is 1 all squared, plus x2, which is 10 minus x1, which is 2 all squared. This is equal to the square root of 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 squared is 36. 10 minus 2 is 8. 8 squared is 64, which is equal to the square root of 100, which is equal to 10. Okay, so from this, what we could get is that the equation is x minus the x coordinate, which is x minus 10 all squared, plus y, no, sorry, not x minus 10, sorry, that is actually a point on the circle. Remember, A and B is the center, so it'd be x minus 2 all squared plus y minus 1 all squared is equal to 10. Nope, not 10, because remember it's equal to r squared, so it'd be equal to 10 squared, which is 100. So this here is the equation of our circle. Okay, the next question now asks us to find the equation of the tangent at 10, 7. Okay, so we already have this here, we have this point here and this point here, so we could find the gradient of that line. Okay, so the gradient of that line connecting the center to that point on the circumference is what we call the normal. So the gradient of the normal is y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. Okay, so it becomes 7 minus 1 all over 10 minus 2, which is equal to 7 minus 1 is 6 over 8, which is equal to 3 over 4. So that's the gradient of the normal. Okay, but what we want is the gradient of the tangent. Okay, remember the property between the normal and the tangent is that they are both perpendicular. Okay, so if they are both perpendicular, if we multiply the gradient of the tangent and the gradient of the normal, we're supposed to get minus 1. Okay, so therefore the gradient of the tangent, if we rearrange that equation, it'll be minus 1 over the gradient of the normal, which is 3/4, and minus 1 over 3/4 is minus 4 over 3. So we have the gradient of the tangent. So to find the equation of the tangent, we need a point on the line, on the tangent, and they tell us it passes through the point 10, 7. So then we have the equation y minus y1, which is 7, is equal to m minus 4 over 3 into x minus x1, which is 10. Okay, for this point, remember, do not make the mistake. A common mistake is that people, rather than use the point on the circumference, they end up using the center. Do not make that mistake. Okay, so we get y minus 7 is equal to minus 4 over 3 x plus, because a minus and a minus, plus 40 over 3. We get y is therefore equal to minus 4 over 3x plus 40 over 3 plus 7, which is equal to plus 61 over 3. Okay, and this is the equation of the tangent to that circle at the point 10, 7. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. And last question, find the center and radius for the general equation below. So we have 5x squared plus 5y squared minus 5x minus 10y minus 25 is equal to 0. So we have two ways we could do this, right? So one way to find the center is, remember, we see that this here, this coefficient here is equal to minus 2a, and this coefficient here is equal to minus 2b. And if we find for a and b, we could find the center. Okay, but rather than do that, what I'm going to do is, what I think is the best way to do to also enhance your skills, is to convert it into the other form, which is much easier to use. So the first thing we want to do is make sure the coefficient of x squared and y squared is 1. Okay, because it makes it much easier. So what we're going to do is divide throughout by 5. So we'll have x squared plus y squared minus x minus 2y minus 5 is equal to 0. Okay, what we want to do now is put the x terms together and the y terms together. So we're going to have is x squared minus x, okay, plus y squared minus 2y is equal to 5. Okay, now one thing I did not mention before is that, remember, I said that this was minus 2e and this was minus 2b. Okay, if we were to use that to find the center, what we need to do first is divide throughout this by 5. Because to use that, we need to make the coefficient of x squared 1 and the coefficient of y squared 1. Okay, so we need to divide throughout by 5. And if you want to find the center, then you could use minus 2a and minus 2b. Okay, next what we want to do is we want to complete the square. So remember, what we do is x squared minus x. Okay, and we add in a half of the coefficient of x. A half of minus 1 is minus a half squared. Okay, I'll put this here. And then remember, wherever we add inside, we need to subtract outside. So we get minus a half squared. Okay, plus y squared. I use the big bracket. Y squared minus 2y. And remember, we add in a half of that, a half the coefficient of the y term, which is half of minus 2 is minus 1 all squared. Okay, remember, wherever we add inside, we need to subtract outside, so it becomes minus 1 all squared is equal to 5. Okay, what we get here now is x minus a half, okay, squared minus a quarter plus y minus 1 squared minus 1, because minus 1 squared is 1, and then your minus 1 is equal to 5. Okay, then what we get is x minus a half squared plus y minus 1 squared is equal to 5 plus 1 plus a quarter. Therefore we get x minus a half squared plus y minus 1 all squared is equal to 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24 is equal to 25 over 4. Okay, now we have So now to find the center would be x minus a half is equal to 0, so therefore x is equal to a half. Then you'll have y minus 1 is equal to 0, so therefore y is equal to 1. So we know the center is a half, comma 1, and the radius, so remember this here, is equal to r squared. So therefore r would be equal to 5 over 2. So therefore the radius is equal to 5 over 2. Okay. Again, once we have it like this form here, we could have simply used minus 2a is equal to the coefficient of x, which is minus 1. Therefore a is equal to a half. Then we could have used minus 2b is equal to minus 2. Therefore b is equal to 1. Okay, and we would have gotten the center that way too. Okay, but what you need to know is how to get it back into this form simply by completing the square. Okay. So that was it for this video on questions related to circles. I hope you all learned something, and I hope I was able to help your understanding of the topic of circles using these questions. Again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me. I am more than willing to help. Okay, thank you.